All right, welcome back to the Moonduck coverage of the Northern Arena Beat Invitational presented by Bell. These are the main qualifier playoffs. Tonight we got lower bracket game number 2 of a best of 3 series between Doo Wop and FDL. There is the potential for it to all be over right here, right now, if FDL take a 2-0 and eliminate Doo Wop, but these NA Giants, once again, trying to stay in the fight. They're going to go down swinging until the bitter end. I'm Android, being joined once again by Motpax. How you doing, man?
Hello. I'm great. I'm so ready. It's game 2. It's more Dota. It's everything I need in my life, honestly. Like what more is there? I think I think we're going to game 3. I'm feeling
You
it.
think we're going to game 3?
Yeah, I believe.
One pick into the draft, and we're going to game 3, man.
Yeah, like, got to learn from your mistakes. Everybody got to chill out. So what happened in our last game? Pretty much the whole B-sub Morphling thing went pretty well. There was a ton of those lane swaps in the early game was super important. And maybe we'll be considering some sort of a lane focus from Doo Wop this game. Just because what happened? They had a Luna running bottom to top, bottom to top. She never got that nice early frame they like to have on Luna, and they missed out on that entire facade of Luna where you push into buildings, right? That's what you do. You group up together. There was never like that 5-man push. It was actually CC&C on the Invoker. They got most of the pushing done in that game, while the rest of the Radiant side kind of chased this Luna around the whole place. So potential for more focus on lanes, I think, this game. Already from FDL, they have a fantastic opener in the Batrider and the IO.
Oh, but finally, for the first time tonight, it's been banned out in all 4 games so far. Nyx Assassin makes his debut here on the side of Doo Wop. I'm excited.
Yeah, consistently being banned out. Super good hero, possibly helping to take care of some of those more annoying people like OD. Might still get banned out now by FDL. They don't want to see him come over on Doo Wop, but very good up against the Batrider. Not too bad up against the Nick or the IO, but just a nice hero. Yeah, they'll just ban him because it's like once Nyx is there, it's like okay, well now we can't pick OD, and that hero is ridiculous. So not gonna hand that over to Doo Wop. Kunkka is the other big one still left in the pool. First pick goes to FDL out of this phase, so they could theoretically leave it in to grab it for themselves. But if not, you probably want to ban it.
Yeah, I think just get all that garbage out. Doo Wop, do you think they're going to go for the Kunkka again, or is it just going to be that Shadow Demon kind of solo YOLO on his own?
Actually, I think they're probably going to ban... I think FDL might ban the Kunkka, because I don't think they play Kunkka now that I think about it. I don't think I've actually seen FDL play it. But no, I think if it is left, I think you still go for it. I think way too. Someone who, honestly, I see always get flamed, like a shitload. So I actually thought he played exceptionally well in the Kunkka last game. He had a lot of really good combinations coming out from the Torrents. His boats were very good. His X-plays were nice as well. Like, very quick reactions on saving from the Batrider. So I don't see why they wouldn't want that Kunkka once more here. It just proved too useful for them. So pressure on FDL to pick it now.
Yeah, I mean, they can go in, they can try to deny it up. I do like this ban on the Luna. I think Doo Wop, they really did the best they could with that Snake King Luna, and it held for potentially a lot longer than they should have been able to hold, just with that spam damage coming out. She itemized really, really smartly, but just getting the Luna out means that Doo Wop have a lot less push power going forward. We'll see what they pick up instead as their position 1.
Well, it looks like it won't be a Juggernaut, so no Luna, no Jug. Start sending you into Terrorblade, Morphling, some of the other big heroes that we've been seeing a lot with Shadow Demon. Doo Wop themselves, I would favor more towards the Morphling, but we'll see. I mean, you don't necessarily have to go into those plays, right? So, wow, it's back. You get it for a second time today.
Oh, I'm happy. I was like a little bit grumpy that these games are getting longer and longer and getting crazier and dragging on, but now I am just all about it. FDL, the IO Skywrath Mage coming back. I mean, we saw it earlier with Jubei and the Wide Witch Doctors, but now I'm excited to see how the IO is going to play. If it's going to be that position 4 roaming Wisp, or if it's going to be the, always tethered to the position 1 ambulance Wisp.
Yeah, again, lanes are probably the biggest focus when it comes to like an IO, is just being able to help out your mid, make sure everything's gonna go fine for them, rotating into whichever lane your core in as well, just keeping everyone topped up. It can kind of help you like win lanes you're not supposed to. It's fantastic with Batrider. You just show up in the lane, sudden burst of movement, and Batrider, it's like, oh, I get a second win lace here. Let me just kill your core because your supports were gone for like half a second, so it's great. For the most part, I would prefer like 4 getting into that mechanism and everything is just so good if you're roaming around for picks and whatnot. But some people, as you said, like sometimes there's like kind of this 5 IO that just camps behind a core the entire game and plays like an Oracle. So ideally, I think you want a little bit of farm on them.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see where the impact's going to be, but FDL already starting things out with more of that early to mid game focus. Now, do you think it's going to be that mid Skyrath that we saw before, or is it just going to be, sit back down, you're position 5, don't get too excited?
I hope so. I really doubt they're going mid Skyrath into a Nyx. I don't think that will be the play. We get obliterated. Like, a Skyrath Mage is already going to have a rough time against the Nyx Assassin because you're naturally high int, but if you actually go into like a core Skyrath, it's going to be like building big items into more and more int. Definitely a hero that doesn't want to purchase up like BKB or anything like that, so I would steer far away from that if I were the side of FDL, but maybe they're, god tier Skyrath Mage player, you never know.
Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility. I am inclined to think it's the support, but that does put him in a quirky position where if Skyrath doesn't have a high impact in the laning phase, he's not going to be great as a support late game because he's just not going to get the farm for impactful items. Mid-game, he might have a great impact until everyone on Doo Wop gets BKBs, and then, like you mentioned, he's easy food for the next assassin consistently, over and over again. So if FDL are going to be picking him up, it's very intentionally. I think they're going to be trying to get as much pressure out of the lanes as possible.
Yeah, so far, I think Doo Wop are just sniping this draft right now, though. Like, everything looks amazing for them. They got the Kunkka as we expected, FDL skipped over it as expected, and now the only save they have against Kunkka combination is Io, which is obviously relocate. Takes forever to do.
Oh,
they banned out the Juggernaut, who's like the best position 1 up against the Kunkka combination. They banned out the Omni Knight, who's also extremely good against the Kunkka combination. They banned out the Oracle. Everything actually looks so good, and now they have Faceless Void. Is this the... I don't know, maybe it's the NA Dota mid. We'll see.
This is virtually the same draft that Witch Doctors won in Witch Doctors used to win their game number 3 series earlier on. They had the Faceless Void, so you've got the Chronos, you can dump out the Skyrath Flare on top of that, Batrider there just for some nice little control, and there's the Naga to go up against it. I'm getting like ridiculous deja vu, dude. Are you Cap?
Yeah, that's right.
Hello, Cap. You sound different.
Yeah, I did catch into that one. Now that was a support Naga, right?
Yeah, that was
up against
support,
the Faceless Void.
This is mid?
This will be core for sure. Probably mid for the most part, but it's definitely going to be Radiance Naga. So you have a relocate. I don't know. It's going to be kind of tough to catch her out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not quite sure how the timing of Doo Wop is going to be, because obviously Naga can fight towards that mid game, but she likes to lean towards the later side of things. Kunkka Shadow Demon going to be impactful all the way through. Nyx, he's going to feel real great 25 to 30 minutes. But FDL, I mean, Batrider gets his 6, Skyrath Mage rotates in, Io's there. You're getting pickoffs left and right, so to Doo Wop have the luxury to sit back and farm up, Radiance, Octarine, Manta on their Naga, whatever they want to do.
It comes down to Chronos in the end, right? Like, that's going to be... Chronos and Lassos are going to be super important for them. Just looking to get that first pick off and then just roll and roll every single cooldown on both of those spells. You want to be going in, getting picks, pressuring into the map. It would be kind of nice to get something that adds on to their push. Both support slots already taken up here, we assume, from FDL. I'm pretty sure this isn't going to be core mage. Pretty sure. I think they're going to have to look for something that'll match up decently against the Naga in the mid lane. Doo Wop have this nice little pick, though, so I guess they get to fully...
could they go for a Timbersaw again?
If you're FDL, yeah, for sure. It's definitely an option. I think this is going to be Bisa safe lane Faceless Void with the Lincoln Sphere build. Yeah.
Alright.
So Bisa does that, so then I guess it's Mirana mid, Naga Siren safe lane. Okay, so this is a pretty free mid pick. Nothing too concerning. Wouldn't be bad to be someone kind of safe against the Kunkka Shadow Demon, so it would be Jug if he was left in the pool, but wisely they banned it out. They're expecting it to be a core Skyrath Mage, apparently. But I don't know about that.
I'm all about that. If we're sticking with the draft we saw earlier, this will be a Leshrac. If we're not trying to trigger me, it'll be some sort of nice little mid laner here. I think 747 could get a lot of use out of the Timbersaw if he wants to go back for that, because there's a ton of survivability. He fights earlier than the Naga Siren. Not really too bothered by the next assassin.
Oh, there's Huskar.
Oh, hell
it's
yes.
Huskar. It's Huskar.
Yes. Okay.
All right, because, like, there's no Jug. I'm just like, man, what is good against Magic right now? Oh, please, just Huskar. Yes! Yeah, it's over. It's over. We're done. All right.
All right, guys. FDL, quick 2-0 on this series. Congrats to them. Hey, Moppax. I'm really glad we shared this moment together.
Yeah, that was just, whoo.
What a riveting game number 2 here. That's going to conclude our coverage for tonight.
Yeah, I mean, just shut it off, honestly. This is just so classic. So classic. Like, the IO's there, you pick on the first phase, and the whole time Huskar just slowly gets ignored and ignored and ignored. There's no Oracle, so the alarm bells aren't going off in your head, and then you're like, fuck. IO Huskar is that other super annoying thing in the mid lane that everyone forgets about now thanks to Oracle.
Okay, so we've talked about the potential for this to be over in 15 minutes with Huskar just absolutely wrecking face, but what's the other potential? What if Doo Wop have crazy strong lanes and FDL just kind of can't get their shit together? Is this gonna be in an easy Doo Wop game? Like, what has to go wrong for FDL and right for Doo Wop for this to go the other way? Because I think we can both agree that this draft is very FDL favored.
It's just Radiance, right? It's that's what it is for sure. You got to get that thing up, and you got to just create complete and utter split push across the map. Give them no option to catch you. CCC gets like Blink, Aghanim Scepter. He's hopping in and out of trees, pushing stuff, and then Francis is going around with this Shadow Demon Kunkka and killing random people over and over again, killing the IO over and over again, stuff like that. They got to do like guerrilla warfare here, like never seen, but always just pushing lanes and killing random people out of the trees.
Oh god, the IO Huskar, how could that slip through?
Happens, man. Just that's Dota.
Either way, Doo Wop, they've got their work cut out for them. I mean, I guess their best option is to gank mid repeatedly and just make sure 747 can't farm, but then, I mean, you've got Beast of Void. I mean, he's just been a machine so far with this Void. He farms up really effectively. He knows when to fight. He really knows the limitations of the hero. Every time I've seen him on the Void, he doesn't overextend. He's really rarely caught out without that time walk. So I guess Doo Wop, they're fighting an uphill battle, just starting things off.
He also has the versatility, because like Biza, a lot of time he does do that Lincoln Sphere build, but it's only when the game suits it. Like in a game like this, he can just go for the Vlad's build, and it's going to be way better for their timing, assuming things don't go like horrendously awful at the beginning. Then it's just going to be like Vlad's build into grouping up as a team, throwing out some Chronos, throwing out some lassos, and taking this one easy peasy.
All right, so there is the 2 bounty runes start for Doo Wop, so they got that going. A little bit more gold is FDL not too ambitious about the runes. They really wanted to go for good blocks and start the lanes out with really good positioning. So Huskar's now got that high ground advantage. CCNC, I mean, what kind of time is Mirana going to have here? Oh, hold that thought, as we're going to have a gank. Stand King on the Skywrath. Might eat it there. The arrow not going to connect, just going to slide back on through. So unfortunately, Kunkka not going to follow up with the Torrent and will not secure the Skywrath kill.
That's really rough when you miss that stuff. And whose curry was that? That was Dyer's. I'm not sure. I didn't catch where it was. Let me see. Oh, it was right mid. It just waltzed on in, I guess.
Yeah, I think Mirana pulled
Following
it in when she went in to
CCNC.
follow up, but 747, a little quick on those snipes. You got the regen. Stan King spending a lot of time mid. Is Skywrath going to kind of permanently stay here as long as there's potential for Shadow Demon Kunkka rotations?
Yeah, it looks like they're prioritizing the experience on the IO instead, and then just using this whole like early game Skywrath mage where you just spam spells and deny yourself to neutrals and laugh at your opponent's face as to how ridiculously obnoxious it is. And they have a great idea, thanks to this ward that was placed down earlier. Like, they still know that Naga's alone, so they don't have to worry about these supports being down at the bottom. IO's still freely doing this. The Undying Band comes back, and you kind of think about it now as to what that means for what they want to accomplish. And what happened last game was we had Snake King ran around everywhere, right? All because of Undying, and just never being able to match up against it, and they just didn't want that this time.
Oh, able to get the tether off before the Torrent latches, so way too 0-2 on that Kunkka follow-up, and now Stan King TP's down bottom, way too. He's gonna eat it. It's not gonna be our first official blood, but he is the first one to hit the deck, so Snake King Could be next on the menu. Stan King following up. He's bending up a decent chunk of his mana just to get the arcane bolts off, so probably going to have to back off or at least fly in a couple of nice juicy clarities before he's able to go back mid to help out.
Yeah, just kill yourself. Not in the offensive way, Stan King, but, you know, just kill yourself. That's, yeah, you're playing Skywrath Mage. That's what you do. Go to neutrals and kill yourself. Look at Wave this last value arcane. What a player.
Yeah, he's going in. He wants to make something happen. Now, mid lane, we are going to have a pretty deep rotation. 747, obviously, at the top of the priority list. Keep him locked down, prevent him from farming. But at this point, that support duo, I mean, they're going to get a little too scared to initiate. Stan King, he's got no mana. He's essentially useless. He's right-clicking for a whopping 53 damage. Dude, go kill yourself.
Yeah, it's really surprising. Like, why are you even right-clicking sneaking? He's a poor mage shield. You, like, literally don't do anything. How much armor does he even have now?
Up top, the torrent finally latches. Can they keep the bat locked down? He doesn't have that mana for the Firefly. It's on cooldown. They've got the X coming back in. I don't know if he gets away here, but there's no follow-up. The Impale on cooldown. So MJW actually turns things around. He dodges out the torrent. And it looks like he's just going to be munching up some mangoes. He goes in, burning up almost six napalm charges onto that Kunkka. He's going to be eating up a couple of stuns here, most likely going to die under tower. He is picked off by the Shadow Demon, but I mean, that's about as impactful of a death as you can hope to have on a Bat Rider.
Yeah, I think he fully bought out there. Let's see.
Yeah, Windlace TP.
Yeah. I don't know, that's questionable worth. Levels are super important on this success in this game, so it might not have been worth in the end, but it happened, so deal with it, I guess.
Skywrath killed himself.
Attaboy. Doing what the crowd wanted.
So 747 in the mid lane, just absolutely dominating in terms of last hits. Mirana's finding very little. CC&C just having a really tough time. What's Mirana to do here? Does she wait for her Shadow Demon Kunkka to gank? Can she bail out and try to jungle every once in a while? Does she just stick with it and get less accomplished and always feel scared? Speaking of feeling scared, MJW.
Yeah. He should be okay. It's a really tough lane. If your supports aren't there, you can't do anything. Like, if you waste leap, then Susie's just going to walk over here and last it from your hill. And there's nothing you can do. You're going to be zoned out of experience as well. So it's better to just play it like a little bit safer. Throw some arrows for like catapults. Is usually totally worth it. Nice little push he gets in here with the Q2.
Torrent misses, and MJW flaps to freedom once again. There are just too many illusions altogether in this top lane. Meanwhile, Wisp gets that kill. We missed the kill down bottom where Skywrath Mage and Io were able to just push up really offensively and get the kill onto that Naga. So things are just not going so hot for Doo Wop right now. How do they get this back in their favor? Do they need to be focusing on 747? Do they need to focus on the bat? It seems like there's just too many things on the to-do list.
It is tough because you're a Naga. Your only natural way to deal with this is your mirror image. So he has to pop it now to get rid of the stacks, but that was only 3. So like MGW just starts stacking them again here.
He's going in. There's going to be that torrent to come back out if they absolutely need it, but just the X to keep snaking at bay. And now down bottom, you've got Flea. He's getting a decent amount of levels, almost level 6 on that Sneaky Nyx Assassin, but he's got to turn that into kill somehow. He's got to get those Vendettas up and wrap around, and yeah, I mean, Io and Skywrath are super, super easy picks. The problem is they're just never alone.
No, it's, again, the same idea they used the Undying for. They're just doing it with an Io now, where this is just a duo that you can't handle. Io Batrider has been a combination for so long, and it wrecks a complete have against safe laners, and it's drawing this support from this Kunkka and the Shadow Demon. They have to be here all the time. Like, Jason's all the way going back home. He needs a wand because he's going to come up here and babysit around MJW the whole time, and that means there's no help for CC&C. Again, FDL have just drafted total lane wins. Yeah,
I mean, what's the ideal timing for FDL? Like, when do they group up? When do they charge? Is it based on items? Is it based on levels?
Pisa, what are you doing, Pisa? Are you actually going Lincoln's? I thought he would just go Vlad's because everything's going so swimmingly.
I mean, could be a Vanguard. No, it's not because he leveled up the poor man shield. I think it's Lincoln's.
Interesting. I mean, again, very common build for the hero, but showing that I guess they're feeling comfortable just taking it slightly later. No real pressure to push on in.
Yeah, I mean, the only pressure is eventually your Skywrath Mage is going to be a silence in a can. Like, his damage is going to be negligible. Anyone that builds a BKB can weather the storm, and he's going to be easy pick for the next assassin, for Mirana arrows, like literally for anyone. But as long as you can keep your Huskar scaling up appropriately, they should have enough damage to overcome that hurdle.
Yeah, the other thing just being the ratings, of course, but same idea, basically.
Alright, so waiting in the wings, we got Pings out onto this Nyx, who has not found his level 6 yet. He's been kind of blocked out of the XP range for a little bit too long now. We could have something going down up top. MJW spraying out that napalm left and right. And there's going to be a jump down bottom here. They go in. Spike Carapace buys some time, but I think Flea still ends up going down.
Oh, no mash!
Okay.
Worth.
They secured that kill.
No.
I mean, realistically, Beast is not going to need
away.
that chrono for another minute and a half anyway. So, worth it.
What's he doing? MJW's up here with no mana. He's gone this kind of new school build where he's probably going to go drums again. So, no one's helping him out.
Yeah, there's going to be a TP up top. Io coming back in, trying to help that regen going
They're
forward.
going to tether up.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to make something happen here. At least just controlling this neutral camp, if not finding a kill onto Jason. Look at the spirits just tearing the Shadow Demon a new one.
Yeah, they're denying stacks, they're denying farm. It's just less and less for snaking up here. He's still doing very well. Like, he's 900 below old Bisa, so it doesn't look that well. But considering the pressure he's under, whereas this is just a free farming void, things look good. Vendetta set up. Oh, and that is what happens when you try and use the Vendetta damage against anyone with a brain. You cannot get the impale off in time.
Well, Bisa has proven that he may not have a face, but he's got that brain. He's going to be at the top of the net worth chart. And, you know, even though he's going for that Linken's, it's not the early fighting build we were talking about. It is still going to be up early enough to where it shouldn't even matter, because Huskar, I mean, he's just sitting here soaking in everything the lane has to offer. Already has that completed armlet. When do we see shoes on the blue boy?
Oh, never. I mean, this is... Shout out to Katara. I'm pretty sure it was Katara who started this. I don't know. Maybe I'm unduly giving him a shout out, but whatever. The boots, just get an armlet. Who cares? I mean, you just stand still. I'm not sure why people need you.
I mean,
why
you just
need
jump
ground
forward
boots
with
anyway.
light break. Yeah, who needs
Yeah, you
walking?
just jump and then you stand. It's great. You know, life is fine. So, never. No, boots come next. Get yourself those things rocking up here. What's done here? Parts of the drum. Old MJW gets himself a wand to boot. Very nice. Drums are actually almost finished here as well.
All right, let's talk about what's going right for Doo Wop, because we talked about how their lanes are feeling real cramped. They don't have a lot of space to move around. FDL are just kind of bringing up that momentum that's really scary, but, you know, what are Doo Wop doing correctly that can really help this game go in a positive direction for them?
I mean, shout out to CC&C. Like, I don't know how he is so much farm.
How has he lived,
impressive.
also?
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's very impressive. Maybe Susie just not being that. You know, he doesn't have boots. That's one thing to say. If you don't have boots before level 6, you can't actually control up the Mirana. So that could be a situation where maybe it might have been viable to grab them. But yeah, no, it is impressive. CC&C's this farm. He's not going to be mega delayed getting the Agnum Scepter or anything like that. All right, if there's a Firefly here from MJW, he would be dead. But for now, I think he's okay.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he gets a little bit too greedy because there are 5 heroes in the vicinity. I mean, this bat, he is just taking out all the aggression. He is Doo Wop's punching bag. Poor little buddy. Didn't do anything to deserve that. Now, the TP in from the Skywrath Mage, he does have that ulti at the ready. And there's going to be the Wisp there. He has to back off immediately, bailing on that tier 1. And I think this is just going to be history for this tower. Meanwhile, though, you've got your free farming Void taking out bottom. And he's now got his completed Perseverance and almost 1,000 gold towards this next component of the Lincoln. So Ultimate Orb not too far off. There are going to be mass TPs top. Everyone's got a bail. 747 making it rain onto Flea. He goes in with the life break, does eat the Carapace. The TP's out, should be coming now, and I don't think they can go and cancel any of these. So rotations out from FDL. They now just kind of have to get themselves going top lane because they've got no other options.
Yeah, I was going to say, shout out to Francis, because this time he played that one properly. Number one, you're up against a hero that's, you know, has a harder time dodging the impale, but waiting until he's in a nice little choke point. Because if you just try and go on someone, especially a Batrider who's rocking Windlace and Tranquils, and you do this, like, Vendetta little play, and they have any option to move left or right, you're just not going to hit it. Like, it's basically a 50-50 chance. But waiting until he was actually choked up inside there to rocking on in, so thumbs up, Francis. Did it, man. Getting that momentum roll on the side of Doo Wop's favor, and that's what we were talking about too. Is just momentum-based Dota. Every single Vendetta, you want to get something, and this is the IO we were talking about. Very squishy.
Very, very squishy, but 747, you know he's not going to let his support go down without a fight. Ambulance Wisp cornered into the tree line. Oh, a little skip hop over the trees, tethering up to 747. Now 747's angry, full Hulk mode as they kill off his support, but Unfortunately, just caught out a little too far. Now Skywrath Mage also going to be disrupted up. They bring in MJW, who does have that lasso. What does he go for here? Well, the answer is no one, as he is going to get impaled up from that Nick. So Sand King with virtually no mana chasing after Jason, who is now running to the wrong side of the map. He knows he's dead either way. He's just trying to suicide to towers. But Skywrath Mage finally gets that one swing of the staff. So a little bit of a cloudy engage, but does result in at least a decent pick for Doo Wop. They get off that Huskar.
All right, I like it. Nice little window here for them, right? Everything's not quite there for FDL, you know? Like, this Huskar is not, like, crazy. He's still just rocking the helm and the armlet. Oh. Got him. Okay.
Just
that's huge.
Jokey CC&C. We talked about what a successful laning phase this was, all things considered, for the Mirana, and now halfway to Aghanim Scepter, living through those ganks, actually getting a killing spree going. Things are going pretty great for Doo Wop, but they've still got this problem of the free farming Huskar, who now has a completed Dom.
Yeah, that's just Dota. You know, sometimes you just get a Helm of the Dominator before boots. But again, this is still a nice window for the side of Doo Wop. I think once where are we at now? Level almost 7 for Stan King. The Blink Dagger probably going to be the biggest part here for MJW, and he's already well underway. 800 gold towards it. Got his drums, and they're going to smoke up. Time for them to get their own ball rolling here. First Chrono. The target, probably CC&C. You want to slow down this Aghanim Scepter as much as you can. And we'll see who they try and hunt for first.
Yeah, I mean, lots of juicy targets here. For now, we've got Bisa joining in.
Nice. He is gone.
Got your Skywrath. He wants to hunt. Smoke's gonna pop, but it's just gonna be lowly Kunkka. Here we go. Now there's some big juicy targets. Onto the Mirana. CC&C though. Leap down to the low ground. Moonlight Shadow to follow up. FDL ain't getting shit out of this road.
Okay, this is not too bad though.
They're gonna get this tier 1 tower, but
yeah, exactly.
No kills. It's a pretty expensive smoke and lots of support time wasted.
Well, no chronos were used though, which is huge. Like the fact that he didn't whiff chrono or anything there, and then they just get a free tower. So now, when you think about Faceless Void, right, and like lasso and everything like that, it's like when it's down, you might see that pressure come in from Doo Wop, but that didn't happen. And now they can save the chrono for the Naga Siren instead. So they might not be able to use the smoke for it, but if they get like a nice relocate play, like if they even just have a ward, like look at this ward up here. If Snaking were to go back towards the tower, he would have just died right there. So nice little play by him.
Alright, so top lane, we've got 747 getting low, popping that Inner Vitality. They want to at least make this a decent tower trade. So going where the heroes aren't, plowing down this tier 1. Decent start there for FDL. You know, in your opinion, picking such an aggressive lineup, the Skywrath, the Io, the Huskar, the Bat, are FDL getting enough out of this early game, or are Doo Wop just countering them fine?
Where's my Naga at? Relic and 500 gold. That's pretty scary. I would think that they didn't exert as much pressure on the Naga as maybe... I would reckon he might be more farmed than they think, would be the best way to put it, I think. I think they might feel like he's going to be still a little bit slower because of how often they were up top and like the Bat Rider and the way he was pulling around inside this little space. But honestly, during a lot of that, you know, going on-ins, there weren't creeps dying. He was getting back in time for the waves and whatnot, so he is still relatively farmed.
Going on.
Going on, yeah. I was trying to think of something really good. I liked it.
It happened. Now
no
MJW,
vision as Bat Rider.
He's double damaged up, but he's corralling them. He's sheepdogging him. He forces him right into the relocate. Mirana leaps into certain doom, and MJW is not done just yet. Almost out of mana, but still tossing out a couple of napalms. Kunkka just booking it out of there. Meanwhile, down bottom, they realize that Beast is all alone. Might be something they can punish, but Void hops back to safety, so good job, Bat Rider. It's only the CC&C pickoff, but still, baby steps towards an unreal mid-game.
Yeah, Lickin' Sphere almost up here for Bisa as well. Maybe still a little bit bad that he's chilling with Chrono and not using it. Like, generally you want to be doing this when you don't have Chrono. Oh, Jason. Hello!
Alright, Disrupt comes out, and Void is going to be not
kinda
caring.
Scary.
He is just absolutely like, alright, next camp, let's go. So, in your opinion, does FDL need to be more active right now? I mean, they've got 747 pushing in the lane, keeping CC&C in check. You've got a free farming Void still, working on his first big item, assuming Lincoln's, because Battle Fury would be not great.
I think it's a fine line right now, would be the best way to put it. Like, they really just want to get this Roche. Like, maybe if you're still holding Chrono right now, I think you just come Roche or something. And try to... Oh, nice. That ward should... Oh, it won't spot this because of the damn fog, right? That's a little obnoxious. So Stan King's not going to know about this.
Yeah,
but,
unfortunate to say the least.
They really want Roche, right? Like, basically, Lincoln Sphere, put that on top of your Void, get the Roshan and the Aegis on top of Suzy. He's got a Dragon Lance as well. I mean, what more can you really ask for? They're pretty much just ready to go.
Alright, so Void finishing off that Linken's, it's going to be flying into him right now, and that should be a go point. I mean, we saw him use the Chronosphere to get the solo kill under the Tier 1 tower, but it has been several minutes since then, and it's time for a decent team fight. You've got a Huskar who got his lane farm, you've got a Skywrath that's going to stop being relevant pretty soon, so it's time to go. And it looks like they're trying to go into wave 2. Can they actually get him down before the TP? They do. It looks like no one else on Doo Wop wants to mess, so FDL, they get some free reign in the mid lane. And looks like the rest of the Dire should just easily take out this Tier 1 top.
Man, you know what Oracle can't do? Relocates. Like, how sick was that?
That's some 6K analysis right there.
Yeah, I tell you. I mean, that's just the life, man. Do whatever you want. But there's the Radiance, so that's good, but they're okay. They are getting the Aegis. So, they get a little bit of RNG, going to be rocking a Doo Wop saver here, right? Get some of those missed chances, rolling with the Radiance. That's pretty much the dream, as the pressure will now be coming from the side of FDL. Arrow, thanks for the help, CCNC. And Aegis goes to CCNC.
Yeah, I mean, that scouting arrow actually helped out a ton. CCNT jumps in the pit, does have that Ags, but unfortunately not the Aegis of Immortality. Now, Naga singing on the backline should allow Jason to get out for free, but unfortunately the Mirana was a much more valuable target. In fact, MJW continues to leap forward. Time Walk's available from the Void, but he's not going to get too crazy with it. He can save it when they're fighting underneath the Tier 2, because now 747 with a little bit of Immortality, a little bit of stats going forward. His range is filthy now with the Dragon Lance. What does he go for
and they
next?
just song too, right?
Just straight treads.
Like, song's down, you know it's going to be 2 minutes at the very least. Assuming that you're assuming that he also went 2 points to Song of Siren and not 1, which is probably the right assumption judging by your lineup. Having a Faceless Void and whatnot, you know that's a big counter to your heroes, so they're going to be skilling that up, blah, blah, blah. So, it is time for buildings. By sticking as a group, they are completely negating the factor of this Nyx Assassin.
Cat Rider,
and,
he's
MJW.
hunting. There's going to be the Carapace. MJW going to be stuck up, eats an Impale, but little do they know. Well, again, there's your non-Oracle relocates coming in from the IO. Well,
I tell ya, man.
Visa is just going to take an arrow right to his non-existent face, but should be okay unless Shadow Demon drops everything on him. All right. Either way, 747 after the relocate easily picks up top tower. You've still got Kunkka, I guess, pushing in the lane. Naga still farming pretty well. Has 1,200 gold on top of the Radiance, but now it's go time. Now FDL have hit their first real momentum peak. 747 takes an arrow, but should be just fine. Again, he hits hard, he hits fast, he has an Aegis, and he might just jump forward onto CC and see if she steps out too far.
Yeah, again, so nicely done by FDL. That play to the mid lane, no song. Like, they know they can pretty much roam around the entire map and just feel free. There's no, like, surprise play where snaking comes out and you're like, oh, shit.
There's the lift onto 747. There's going to be the Impale as well. He's got to be a little bit careful relying on the armlet for regen, but look, Ambulance Wisp. It's just keeping him alive through all odds. Now there's going to be a Chrono in the back line. Visa saved it up, and it is beautiful. There's going to be Huskar spending up the Aegis. Meanwhile, Skywrath Mage is going to be on a killing spree. All the Radiant heroes, except for this poor little Wisp, should be able to get out safely. Skywrath, unfortunately, going to eat the mana burn. Now, Naga's singing on the back lines. There is going to be that time walk away. Now, up on the high ground, the fight continues. 747, he's still full Divine mode here, trying to cut through the backdoor protection. And they should be able to at least take out the tower. There we go. And they're not going to focus down the racks here. They've got bigger targets to worry about. The Vendetta Strike. It's available. They pop the dust, though. Carapace holding 747 in place temporarily, but now he just jumps right in. Kunkka tears him right back with that X. There is going to be no lasso available, but the Burning Spears. 747 from downtown takes out the Nyx.
All right, well, they didn't lose racks. That is huge. So they can be pretty happy with that from the side of Doo Wop. Overall, though, those cores on the Radiant are looking mighty scary. Batrider has now hopped up over CCNC. So they've got the top two. There's a Naga wedged in between, and then there's a Batrider. So this is like your last chance. if you're on the side of the dart. I think the fact that Susie went down to a tower shot was super beneficial to them because it was like mid-chrono. No one else was even nearby, and there was just kind of this awkward moment where like damage came in from the Kunkka and the tower near the same time, so it made the toggle super awkward. It wasn't like a major misplay, but just the fact that he did lose that while chrono was on was pretty huge. But
so yeah, I mean, overall momentum, like you mentioned, there's just a huge spike up. It's 5,000 now in favor of FDL. At 22 minutes in with a Huskar and a Skywrath, though, should it be more? I feel like they should have, at least Elena Rax by now, and they're well on their way to getting that, but I don't know. Good job, Doo Wop, for holding them off for so long.
Yeah, I think like the fact that tower was there maybe just kind of slowed it down a bit. They used the relocate as well to get the pick on the Nyx, and they still had to get the tower after that, so like Nyx was back up when they were actually up, and blah, blah, blah. If they get one more pick off relocate and the lanes are in even a decent spot, which is going to be the burden of CCNC and, of course, snaking here, but then it could be good for them. But we talked about this as well. Like, the fact CCNC had such a good early game, even though it doesn't look that good now, it is huge because he got the Agnum Scepter. We all know that's that big farm multiplier for the Mirana, and it means he will be getting a blink this game. He's not just stuck on this item, so he can also super help out with the split push. Just needs to be very cautious of this relocate. And here we go, top lane again. Impale out of Invis, so you don't dodge it. Real Nyx players, pay attention.
He's getting real low here. Going to be torrented back into the boat. The relocate comes through. 747's got work out for him. There's going to be the song from the Naga. Just comes off cooldown previously to the fight. On the backlines, MJW stuck in place as well, so everyone should be able to get out. Bat blinks forward. What is that? We got shooting bubbles all across the field. And now Jason not going to be sitting in the Mystic Flare, but still pulled down nonetheless. MJW, though, taking a ton of damage. Snake King should be able to finish off the Bat. Does get that return kill. So Void and Bat going down for a Shadow Demon. Hell yeah. Doo Wop are really happy with that fight.
Yeah, you really are. 926 gold. Heading over to your Naga. That is so sick. That Manta. It's a realistic option here. It's not just a dream. We might see one. And look where CCNC is. Pushing lanes. Almost has Blink Dagger. Life is good.
All right. I mean, what do FDL have to do to really secure their lead? Because that was not ideal. They're now down to about 2,000 net worth lead, which, again, at 23 minutes in is not a whole lot. It seems like, I mean, Doo Wop, they're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. They're potentially outliving this Huskar strat.
Yeah, you know what else is super scary? Snaking's actually almost level 16 because he just got so much experience, which means he's going to have the 60-second song. And that is when you actually counter chrono. That's
yucky to deal with, to say the
terrifying.
least. We've seen that song come in. Just that fight up top, it broke things up to the point where Huskar couldn't find a pick, Bat Rider couldn't find the lasso. So if Snake King gets those off every single team fight, it's looking good. You've got to see Huskar start making these plays and getting those pickoffs to drive the momentum back in FDL's favor.
Well, the plays are starting now. They're smoking up on MJW. There is a ward here, though, so you got to be careful about your Fireflies. MJW is indeed. And now the hunt begins. That's an illusion.
Yeah, he's going to know because the smoke doesn't break, so he's going to be able to find the real one fairly easily. Well, she's
Gotta watch those radiances stopping his blinks and whatnot, but I don't think they're going to find anyone.
747, you took care of that illusion, buddy. Now with that completed Satanic, I mean, Huskar's really hard to bring down. He's going to be fighting till his last breath, but at this point, it seems like FDL may have just too many targets to deal with in these team fights. They've got to focus the Naga to prevent the song, to prevent that, fight-canceling ulti. They've got to focus down the Kunkka and the Mirana because they're both decent sources of damage and control. So they've got their work cut out. We'll see if they're able to really apply some pressure mid lane or if Doo Wop's going to react to that.
Yeah, that's kind of scary. It's almost more of a Oracle item, like to go for the Satanic when you have Oracle instead, because there is actually a lot of chain stun on the side of Doo Wop. So 747 is going to be kind of cautious using this, but the only other thing is like there's no real physical damage coming in, so like Halberd wasn't really the item, and I think he just picked what he thought was best in the Satanic, but it's not exactly like the dream Satanic game. Either way, Chrono is up. They are ready. MJW. Oh, whoa, yo.
They're just
what is
feeling these
Bisa
racks,
doing?
dude. Bisa's got the
Bisa.
All right, we're singing. There's potentially some more rotations back, or Doo Wop just let this slide. I don't think they really want to give up their push top lane. They've got 2 heroes invested in that, so it's going to cost them perhaps a lane of racks. The Fortify goes down.
Nice.
Wisp is killed off. Radiant's doing its job there, but even with their backdoor protection, the rack's still taking.
They use Moonlight too.
Let's see if there's going to be some jumping forward here. Moonlight, like you mentioned, wrapping around Snake King with no song. But Flea just ripping that Skywrath mage apart. Now there's going to be the Crow. No. Pisa just running back and forth like a chicken with his head cut off as 747's going to be focused down, tries to life break CC&C but dies in the way, and they're just going to continue their pressure. They got 3 heroes for what was a bit of an overextension for FDL in the first place, where Sean's not up, but this gives Doo Wop license to push wherever the hell they please.
Damn. No song. Feeling maybe a little bit bolder, but then solo chrono Nick Sasson, who got off the carapace first, nicely done by Francis, and then the disruption too. Very well played, using their other options here. Now that means Song is online while they're pushing. If you saw it, Pisa was sitting up top. He had 3,300 gold. I was like, is this going to be like a Manta? Does he want the Pisa play? But he's rocking out into a Radiance of his own. It is time to quite literally fight fire with fire. Let's see if that's actually going to end up working out for them. But, nah, Francis, there's no friends around here.
I mean, I think you're overlooking the obvious possibility that this is a divine rapier.
Oh, yeah, my mistake. Sorry about that. I mean, it just makes way more sense in 28 minutes.
28-minute rapier void. I mean, I think that's a strategy.
Pretty much just standard stuff, honestly. Oh, it's a Radiance. I think he's just not on your meta yet.
Yeah, I mean...
one of these days.
That's a report right there. Either way.
I mean,
Roshan,
I heard about all this low priority, so I think after this one, he is definitely heading down, especially after that last chrono. Like, that was 4 reports from one person right there.
All right. Anyway, it is going to be Doo Wop moving into Radiant territory.
I want to see something really
Nick
sad.
Assassin going onto the Skywrath Mage. He's going to concussive shot though. They've got the Vision Batrider dragging him up. They do get the Nyx down to start things off, and the Kunkka boat flies through to no avail. Everyone TPing on the back line. They get the break on CC&C. He pops in to that Moonlight Shadow, but they've got the gem on the Batrider. As long as he can keep MJW on top of him, they're going to be able to find him. It looks like CC&C just sitting around. There's nothing you can do. The life break comes in, and Huskar finally gets that momentum coming back in. He goes and finds himself his 7th kill of the game, and everyone ready to move forward. No one really giving much attention to Snake King pushing in the tier 3s here, but
they just found 3 free sentries on the ground in here that belong to Jason. The dream.
Well, we get sentries now, as it looks like these racks will finally fall. Naga doing her best to apply that split push and hammer on 2 tier 3s at once, but again, I think FDL, they've got their eyes on the prize. They're going straight in here, perhaps even going rotating for mid lane after this, and maybe even some chip damage onto the tier 4s, because Naga's showing no signs of retreat. Looks like mid-rotation is going to be the call. Perhaps they leave from here. Perhaps they push their luck. Try to take on the Nyx
this is not working,
again.
Snake King.
Snake King's coming back. The push is finally over, but this tier 3 melting quickly on the side of Dire. There is not going to be a fortify for another couple of moments. So 747 gets 3 damage into the racks. There will be the pull coming back in. Way 2 got the X Torrent. They've got to help out 747 now. The Wisp is in the vicinity, but the boat coming in. I mean, he's got his armlet, he's got his Satanic. Can he man up on this? MJW goes in, and they do manage to get the lasso off, but the Song to put that pause button here as, there's a chrono.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a YOLO chrono.
That was definitely YOLO chrono, and they end up losing the Huskar as well, so all 3 cores just unfortunately meeting their fate here. Batrider, he tried, but Naga Siren, good hero.
Yeah, sneaking. He kind of got caught in an awkward spot where he's like pushing this tower down or up here in like the top lane, but then Doo Wop comes in and he doesn't have his bots available. That's why they just pushed right on it and got that free set of racks. Ideally, they just take that exact same fight down in the bottom lane, right? But this is huge though. Yeah, that Roche being up.
If Doo Wop actually snake this Roche, they have got themselves the makings for some decent high ground push. It's only 30 minutes in, but I mean, overall net worth now sloping in favor of Doo Wop. This is not the way we expected this Huskar strat to go. You and I were both adamant in the draft that this was an easy win for FDL, but what went wrong?
Well, I mean, it's the classic Huskar game where you just don't get that. Everything has to go right. It is like it's kind of hard to explain because it's hard to talk about how it goes because you look at it and you're like, okay, this is super easy. They literally can't kill this guy, and they could not kill the Huskar. I mean, we saw what happened. They just walked bottom, but that slight mess up on the execution just gave an opportunity to Doo Wop where with that Aegis, Chrono, a lasso, and everything like that, they should have been able to just walk up and get that bottom set of racks the first time. They had everything that they could possibly dream of. No buybacks were even required from the side of Doo Wop. But the fact that a little bit too much farm was handed to CC&C, maybe a little bit too much farm over to that Naga Siren, obviously having the Radiance Plus at that point in the game, They couldn't quite get it. You know, it was a combination of your opponents had too much, and we kind of screwed up on that rise. And that's when it starts to, it multiplies and multiplies to the point where, like, now Naga Siren pushing out these waves. Once she gets in this Octarine core, it gets even harder. It's like being up against that Alchemist. You just never regain control of the lanes again.
Yeah, I think if FDL are looking to make some big plays, they've got to make them soon because, I mean, Huskar is still scary. He still does damage, but in the last couple of fights, Skywrath has just been easy pickings. So their lineup's starting to lose its momentum. Doo Wop definitely picking up the slack. They're playing very, very cohesively. Again, this is an elimination series, so if Doo Wop were to drop this game, well, it's all over for them, unfortunately. Their run in the Northern Arena qualifiers are going to be over, so a lot on the line.
I think they got this. I think the Dire have this one. Yeah, they got that last Aegis. That was huge. That was the next big thing for them. Bisa has a blink, so this is kind of their last big hurrah where I feel like they're still really in control. And they actually have the advantage, but this is what I was just about to mention. The Aghanims on Nyx. Is there anything better at defending high ground than this thing? Like, this Skywrath Mage just became a total non-factor. The IO kind of as well. The actual range, if there's like a ward out here, or, well, of course they have a gem, so it's going to be kind of tough. But if he has vision of that Skywrath Mage, you're just dead.
He's the most dead. Now, there's going to be a TP in from Jason, unfortunately, not clipping onto the smoke. But it should be a pretty free escape for FDL. They went in, they pressured the last tier 2. Again, there is still the Rax advantage on this bottom lane, but it's getting tougher and tougher. The Naga split push is really laying in. Chip damage onto this tier 3 almost brings it down.
Oh, CCNC blinks aggressively, but yeah, he's got leap. It's fine. And he also has the Aegis too, so double safety.
He's all good. I don't think there's really any kills in the Mirana coming out soon. But the problem is FDL, if they get any sort of room here, they know they've got to push. Just easy tap there. Huskar takes out a ward with one swipe. And Doo Wop, their initiation point's tricky. 747, he's standing out, he's asking for it, but the rest of his team should be there to back him up. And he is going to get dragged in the boat, doing some work, and wow, there's going to be a long-range impale as well. But now Void, he's going to go in, does latch only one into the Chronosphere, as Mirana's able to blink out in time. Song of the Siren coming in, Naga trying to buy herself some time, she's bailing. Jason goes into that ghost form, so might actually get out with his life here. Unfortunately, it does mean that the Nyx dies instead. No surprise, Skywrath Mage is going to be eliminated now with no IO. It could be time for Doo Wop to go back in aggressively here. Snake King is just going to take a couple of flaming arrows. The life break connects. Can Snake King get out alive here? Drops the gem. They get the Naga. That's going to be huge. And they're looking for more here. They pop the Aegis onto CCNC. 747, he has the life break up in one more second. There is going to be that Mirana leaping out, but can they catch up? They don't have the lasso available. So it looks like Mirana will be able to escape as Huskar is killed by a neutral. These small neutral fools.
These bad boys? Yeah. Oh, look at that face, man. They are angry looking. They're like little sloths.
Oh, man, they just went full get off my lawn mode, dude. Huskar was armlet toggling, trying to save himself, and one hit.
You know, I thought Charlie had resting bitch face. Have you looked at these guys?
The fools?
They are just... Look at the Vool's faces.
I'm looking through the tree. They have
like the biggest resting bitch face I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, they are just not content.
Not to be
creatures.
trifled with, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, now we're
terrifying.
Seeing how small of an impact Skywrath Mage has. This was Skywrath Mage allowed to completely unload onto CCNC and does maybe a 15th of his health.
Yeah, it's not easy being Snake King right now.
As much as I love my boy Skywrath, playing that position 5 support at 35 minutes, you are just not in a good mental place.
Now, what do they get off of that, though? I mean, it's still Naga, right? Like, you just won this big-ass fight in your jungle, and you're like, yeah, we did it! And look where the lanes are right now. It's not even past the river.
Yeah,
I don't know what Bisa has to build now. I don't know if he has to go, like, Manta, and we're just going to fight up against this, or what?
It's tricky here. The Void, I mean, he's got a lot on his shoulders because he is now one of the only cores on FDL that scales nicely into the late game. Huskar, yeah, he does damage, but he's easier and easier to pick off. It's harder for him to actually get those openings to dive onto Doo Wop without being punished. Batrider's going to scale nicely, but without his lasso, he can't really do a whole lot. So it's up to Bisa, and he's definitely taken on bigger challenges before, and he's going to be going for that nice little farming build, the Radiance Maelstrom. He's able to clear lanes really effectively as far as Voids go. But Doo Wop, they're just going to keep laying in. They've got easiest lane push from Arana. Naga Siren specializes in just laying in the rat damage, keeping the lanes going. So this lane of super creeps hasn't seemed to bother Doo Wop at all.
Yeah, it's kind of like Alchemist. It's like you lose that first lane of racks, you're just like, all right, it's fine.
Yeah.
You know, it's okay. One lane's fine. Two lanes, definitely an issue. That's when you'll start to see it like creeping past the river. One is a-okay. That smoke, I don't think was caught by the ward. It was down here, so. But the only problem was Huskar went up to here, hit the wave, and then went back. So they might know the smoke was coming.
Yeah, it looks like there is going to be that very defensive posture here from Nyx. He does not want to be caught out. And mass pings from every side, just making sure do not go into Radiant Jungle. It is full of yucky heroes. You don't want to be there. So Doo Wop, they take the time to continue their farm. And FDL have just not kept the gas up. They just kind of fizzled. The fights haven't been going their way. They stopped going for smokes. They stopped finding pickoffs. And Doo Wop now even up the kill score. The net worth is in their favor. The XP is in their favor. It is basically in Doo Wop's hands to throw right now.
Yeah. The window was missed. Not too much getting around it. What can they do in this situation? We've seen kind of a unique build from Beast to try and answer this, as you were pointing out before, just like the Radiance and the Maelstrom. But what about your other heroes? Like, Batrider, kind of okay in those situations, but he's up against this Nyx Assassin, who, with the Blink Dagger, you can get across the map so quickly, and all you have to do is catch a single trail of that Firefly, and you're going to get stunned up. So then you're, like, forcing out BKBs from MJW. For now, he's still rocking that 10k, or 10 second.
Nyx playing a dangerous game,
Yeah,
just going,
not fast enough.
going forward. He got that super long-range Impale, just tapping him up, so it's nice to be Doo Wop. Now, what's Doo Wop's go point? Do they wait for the next Roshan? Do they wait for the next round of items? Do they just slow siege? Is it just going to be dragging out into one of those 65-minute games? Or is this going to be, you know, quick, rip the Band-Aid off, go for one more big team fight, and then racks thrown?
They can slowly wait until the mistakes made from FDL in terms, because like FDL need to make, like, have to take risky plays in order to keep these pushed. Things like this right now, where MJW is. If MJW dies right now, then the pressure comes into one of these lanes. They just flip the switch on Doo Wop, everyone shows up, they pressure, and here it is right there. Can't see. Oh, since he's leaving, he thinks they're all there.
Well, there is going to be that rotation in, so Francis is going to be finally picked up, and there's a mech coming out from that IO, so it is FDL's turn to push, but down bottom, you've got Snake King and Illusions and just six-slottedness pushing in. I mean, Naga's got room to grow. 4,000 gold. You can easily replace that Bassi. And now you've got to have Bisa fully committed to just clearing out the lanes. That's not where you want your position 1 Void to be at this point.
Yeah, you just got to kill up top, and the lanes are still here and down here. And then CCC is right back up. He just TP'd out, and he's already back up here doing his thing. It's just like 5-man push has to happen at some point where FDL feel comfortable just going up mid or something. Yeah, I mean that's really all there is to it, right? In the end, FDL just they have to just keep separating to do this. You can see where MJW is, you can see where the Huskar is, and Doo Wop can just wait. Like Nyx Assassin will be back online, and then if they get any of these picks, like that time it went really well for FDL. It was a good play. They got the kill top lane, but if that goes the other way, it gets punished. When you kill someone on Doo Wop, it doesn't get punished at all.
I mean, Naga Illusion's having fun just chipping away at this Huskar, but in theory, Naga never has to participate in another fight again. Naga just has to be where the Radiant aren't and pushing in their lanes, and so far it's been pretty easy for Naga to find space.
Yeah, it's like Terrorblade. How do you kill the hero? Like, you can't just smoke up and like try and find her in one of these weird areas, like around here or up here or something like that, because you're just like your base is dead. You try and go for that play with everyone, and they just bring you on down.
So, I mean, predictions for the next 10 minutes. Is it going to be a very Roche-centered team fight? Is it going to be slow, steady rat from Naga? Is it going to be FDL getting desperate and going for big overextensions?
A little bit of a combination of that, I would say. They're going to try their hardest to try and get top lane pushed. You assume that if Roche is being taken by Doo Wop, I think CCC is going to be there as well, which means their split push won't be that great. Like, Kunkka, good hero. Yeah, he's got the armor, he's got the crit, he can do it too, but he also wants to be at the Roche fight. So if they can find that moment and correctly find, like, identify when Doo Wop is at the Roche pit, then FDL are going to make that YOLO play. They run on down. They try and get the chrono, the lasso. They have great heroes to fight around the pit. They always have relocate, which is kind of scary. It gives them that option, as you saw up in the top lane, where they can get this solo pick. The dream is Naga. The second best scenario, and the more realistic one, is trying to get a kill into CCNC. So they need MJW to get close enough to CCNC that he can blink Force Staff lasso, so that he pops the Lincolns. They relocate in, they kill CCNC, and they immediately beeline Roche. That's pretty much their only option.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy. I mean, look how much investment it takes for 747 to half health an illusion, who's now just
and
going...
look where Francis is. Like, he knows what they want. He knows they want CCNC.
Yeah, it's tough. What is the Skywrath Mage's contribution at this point? Because it is 41 minutes.
Force Staff.
No one is bothered by this Skywrath Mage anymore. Like, if he dropped a full duration ulti on Mirana, how much health would it do?
I mean, it's not too bad, right? Maybe she E-blades herself to live from Void. Yeah, it's pretty awful. Maybe she E-blades herself to live from the Huskar, and then you dump that on top of her, right? But seriously, biggest thing would be just the Ancient Seal, silencing up someone. Pretty much the best you can do. You hope Naga already popped Manta or something. You hope that the Lincoln Sphere's already popped on CCNC. Still has some controlling options. They have a great lane position right now. They're just going to have to go for this, Aegis or not.
Yeah, I mean, they've got to. At this point, FDL, they know they've got like 1 or 2 more fights left in the tank. They know they're falling off. They know their heroes aren't doing what they need to be doing. Now 747, just try to focus down, and now that's just going to be enough. Look at that Kunkka Tidebringer. Just chunking 747. Meanwhile, Naga Illusions now exposing these racks. They're about to just take a full lane of racks from Illusion push alone, and there's not much FDL are able to do. They rotate back their Void, who keeps the tier 3 up. This Rax is just barely hanging on. It's just now or never for FDL.
That day. They got a good ward down. Plus on that, I might allow a relocate
Look
kill.
at that ward, dude. That is just stunning.
Hey, that's huge. They have an IO. They might be able to get a single pick. Someone just farming like, oh no, they didn't drop wards. It's fine. The important stuff right there. The gems on a Nyx Assassin. He can't see up there. He's not Batrider. But here it is. They have not scouted it out yet. I don't think they know.
I think they've got to have it in the back of their mind, but they know
no one's here.
It's not something they can do. Naga's still sending out the illusions. It still takes full attention of FDL to go and keep them back and just keep this Rax up. Meanwhile, Mirana is going to be picking up that Aegis, so she can dive forward. She can afford to just YOLO Starstorm if necessary. If that's what it takes to take down the Huskar, absolutely. Time to punish 747. And speaking of that, he's going to take the Vendetta Strike. Just everything dropped on him, keeping him at bay. He is able to heal up pretty quickly. And now with Doo Wop, they're going to be going back and mounting a defense.
That's kind of disappointing. They had good options to fight there, too. It's understandable they couldn't get there because Doo Wop waited till a good moment. They knew that no one's going to contest them. But, like, BKB on both your Batrider as well as your Huskar would have given you some decent options to fight through the song. Because while they're BKB, they don't do anything. There's, like, Tidebringer, and that's it. That is literally all they do through BKB. So, how long is these BKBs right now? It is still 9 seconds, wisely held here by Susie. So if he just BKBs and hit melee Rax,
and Batrider's got a 10-second one as well, so he can just kind of sit there, dump fire all the way throughout the storm. Not if 747 goes down right now, though.
They really need Glyph to be popped. And then Susie just BKBs, I'm sure.
Oh, they're going in.
Oh, there they go. That's it.
And there is going to be a really nice chrono connecting onto 2. They're going to focus on the Kunkka on the back line. It's the easiest one for them to get. Now they switch attention onto the next assassin. They're going in. Look at these racks just melt. 747 keeping his eyes on the prize. There is going to be the boat coming through, but again, the BKB, just barely weighs off. Now Snake King, he's manning up onto 747. They can't afford to lose him right now, but they might not have much of a choice to relocate. It's going to save his ass. He's back down to the low ground. He's healing up. He's got that Satanic rolling. Now Skywrath Mage dropped to Whiffed ulti. There is going to be 747 trapped up in the ghost form, but everyone in FDL is somehow still alive. They managed to take half of Rax here. They managed to get down the next assassin. Unfortunately, they do lose the IO in the end. Will there be any more bleeding, or will 747 get out fine?
Yo, that relocate, though. That was actually so sick. So they just did that into an Aegis, and they managed to get themselves a ranged Rax. That is pretty up there. I am impressed.
That is just about as well as that fight could have gone, obviously. They wish they'd gotten more in terms of structures, but the fact that no one died aside from the Wisp with a relatively low death timer anyway means that Doo Wop, they cannot push right now.
Woo! Okay.
Things are heating up here at 45 minutes. Skywrath participated by putting down that Mystic Flare slightly to the right of the team fight, but the Veil's actually doing a decent amount of work.
Yeah, there's a lot of magic damage spread across the whole team. You've got this Mjolnir build on top of the Faceless Void. Bashes are magical as well. Bat Rider. Pretty solid stuff. And once again, no BKBs are out here for the important heroes like CCNC.
They're not messing around here. They know that BKBs are going to be very, very high priority. 747 is able to get off the BKB charge, jumping forward onto the next assassin. Oh, he does end up burning the gem. Is back on the deck again. The BKBs blasting through the song, Snake taking a ton of damage. Will 747 be able to life break? No, he eats an arrow from the Mirana, but Force Staff forward from Stan King forces out the blink from the Mirana. So fight effectively over. They drop the Nyx once again. All of FDL still up. But this lane is pushing. Naga dumped her illusions in there last time, so even through the super creeps, this lane pressure is still an issue for FDL.
I think the Snake King just dumped all illusions down mid as well. Yeah, he did. So there's no one pushing the side lanes either.
Yeah, before the fight, he pushed out the side lane, or the bottom lane. Now CCNC sitting there in the shop is going to be going in with the Moonlight Shadow, but again, Gem Vision, it's there. They're moving forward. If Mirana jumps in, she is just not in a good place. This is going to be Huskar going in. Big YOLO attempt here. They're cutting through the illusions. They want to find something. Meanwhile, Mirana drops it all. They want to get down the Wisp, but Wisp manages to live through most of it. There's going to be the ulti from Skywrath Mage actually helping out. Mirana is going to get disrupted up. There will be that song popped out from the Naga. Cheese gobbled up on the back lines. Everyone getting a little bit more health to work with. MJW still has the lasso available. Boat is going to be whiffing right on through. Now 747 bursts the world here. Pops the Satanic, pops the BKB. He's trying to man fight down Snake King, and it will be successful. There's going to be a buyback from the Naga Siren, but it's all coming down to this. CCNC dropping out that Ghost Scepter, the Torrent back up. They force out that H's coming out from the Mirana. Now Jason just gets bashed up. Nice bash there from Visa. They lose their Huskar, who does have buyback, but Void, he's still able to get out alive. They managed to take out that one little Rax. They get bottom lane earlier on in the game as well, so it's now a decent Rax advantage. But things are tied up.
Radiant are doing it. I don't know. Yeah, that Rax top is huge.
Yeah, I didn't notice that Rax went down in the last push coming in from the Naga Siren. So these creeps now have to be addressed. So things overall are even, but FDL for a 47-minute Huskar Skywrath IO game are still somehow maintaining a grasp.
The buyback from the Naga is probably the biggest part of this. So if they can get one more kill on her, I mean, they have lasso. You never know, right? Dream is real.
Oh, Void. He's able to leap away. Will he be able to live through this? The Blinken saving his life. Ambulance Wisp once again to the rescue. Now 747 moving forward. You've got Stan King on your Skywrath Mage with 1100 HP. Sitting back. They lose their tier 3 here. The Rax, it's super, super low. It'll regen just a little bit, but these Naga illusions, are they able to get it? No. Next wave, though, it's going to get tougher and tougher. Eventually, this mid-Rax does fall, and that leaves only one Rax left, standing between FDL and Mega Creeps. This is
these
the
illusions,
last.
they're going for it, man.
It's just getting yucky.
It's going down.
And it's back to it. It's not going down just yet.
Close. Oh, there's more.
There's an onslaught of illusions, and now it is just 747's top priority to keep this structure alive.
All right, I'm impressed. I was surprised they got the back door. Should kick it. Yeah, it's back now. There we go. All right, we did it.
Oh, Void, he's going in. There is going to be that sentry there, so his sneaky Canvas rune is not going to be quite enough. He's picked himself up that Shadow Blade. I mean, is he looking to scale up into Silver Edge, or is that an escape tool, or...
It's trying to kill the Naga tool.
Oh, the Rax finally go down. There is going to be a big fight here. Bat is cornered in. He's got the magic immunity. And there is going to be that relocate coming in. But the song, it's going to stop this fight in its tracks. Maybe they get the Nyx, but that's not the target they need. They need the Naga. They need the Mirana. Will they be able to find anything out of this? Now, Naga is going to get chronoed on the back lines. Bisa goes in.
This is the no
but
buyback.
Sneaking, they've got to find this kill. If they don't, it's all over. And it looks like Bisa's the one that hits the deck. Immediate buyback for him. On the back lines, you've got your Bat TPing back home. It's now Doo Wop's time to push. They've got no ultis to their name, but they are just ready to get in there. Illusions for days. 747, he's only one blue man. He cannot clean up all of this harass onto his own Rax. He's going to It torrents it up, and on the back lines, Void, he's looking for something. Again, no refresh, no chrono, so he's just got to go in and just man-fight this. Sprays out the time dilation, but not going to have too much of an impact. At this point, Doo Wop are comfortable just forcing the game later and later because they know these creeps are going to start doing a number on the tier 4s, which are now completely exposed throughout the top and mid.
It was a noble effort so far. Maybe they have one more shot inside of FDL, but I'm surprised they've gotten this close, honestly. Like, some of these moments have been absolutely ridiculous where they somehow get these lanes close enough. These builds have had to be augmented so much. So, like, Mjolnir, Radiance, Void, and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean,
we're still 3.5 minutes, though. 3.5 minutes to win this game. The Shadow Blade that you were pointing out before, it's this item that has just come majorly back into favor, trying to deal with all the different Radiant split pushers. And the Blink just can't be reliable enough. You got to sneak up underneath them. There's no slots on snaking for the gem, so his illusions aren't going to spot you out when you're roaming around. It's your only option.
Faceless
And
Void, going
if
in.
Bisa gets him, though, like, there is relocate. They will have the damage. It's so scary. Like, it is actually terrifying. Shadow Team should be shadowing, snaking, pun unintended, just like the whole time.
This is tension right now. 51 minutes in. Again, if FDL pull this off, they eliminate Doo Wop from the entire tournament. I mean, we're pretty far into the bracket. At this point, going home, this feels like such a crushing loss. So Naga, she's
Only
moving
one
in.
team goes to Montreal.
2 teams, but yeah. Ooh, my camera binding just completely unbound itself right there. Either way, Snake King gonna be going in. I mean, this is a very slotted Naga. Eventually you can level up that Diffusal Blade, but you are exactly where you need to be. We'd had doubts about Naga being such a late game hero up against Huskar strat, but I mean, was it 747 just not being manly enough, or was it just outplay by Doo Wop?
Just slight, like, you have to execute not necessarily flawlessly, but pretty high percentage-wise, and that first Aegis push, just, it's stalling out on the racks. It's just that first moment that gives your Naga more time, and they have an exceptionally good time lineup with the Naga. It's not like they just have Naga. They have Mirana, who's really good at clearing waves and getting out of there. They have Nick Assassin for all this scouting to help keep this Naga safe, and then Kunkka, too. Now that he is up in these bigger items, bigger levels and whatnot, he's just as effective as the Mirana for going around and doing the same thing. He's got his Blink, he's got his Chrysalis, he managed to farm up into his BKB. So it was a very solid lineup from Doo Wop in order to execute this kind of a victory over the whole Huskar push strategy. So I like it. I think they CCC again, like that mid lane. How did they get so much farm? I don't really know.
Mirana's not messing around here. We've got Daggons. So another Roche will be taken. This is what, 4th or 5th Roche? I have no clue at this point. I think it's 5th.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many cheese I've seen. I think I only saw 1 cheese, but it must be 5th by now.
We're 53 minutes in, and there's been a slow, steady tick of Roches. So Mirana, she's going to grab up that Aegis, so it's going to be even harder to bring her down. And now we've got 747 just kind of standing out here, twiddling his thumbs. He's got no TP.
Io's probably going to die here.
He's got the relocate.
Oh, no.
I think we just witnessed flight. I'm pretty sure Huskar just flew. All right, there is going to be that torrent coming in. This is 747's last chance, and he is going to be relocated back out to the base, so Wisp will most likely end up just... Yeah. We're about to witness a savage murder.
They almost had it. Like, if they manage to kill that Io before the relocate comes out, then they get Huskar as well.
Okay, so Wisp goes down, no surprise. Only a minute timer on him, but he doesn't have buyback there. That might be a little bit crucial. Just one tether can prolong the fight so much, can help out Huskar a ton when he's just trying to man up on like 3 heroes at once, which he may do as CCNC blinks forward. The wave is pushing in. It is now go time. These final little bitty melee racks are all that stand between Doo Wop and Mega Creep. So force back, 747 could be in a little bit of trouble. Should be able to get himself back down to the low ground. He's going to get impaled up. Now Skyroth doing whatever he can, which is not much, taking that ethereal blast from CCNC. MJW on the backlines. He's BKB'd up, but he's still doing a lot of damage. There is going to be way too getting disrupted up, trying to buy himself some time. The Naga song comes in, and there will be a boat. Huskar not going to need to activate that BKB. He still wants to jump forward. He has the Satanic ready to go. But again, it's just FDL fighting from such a disadvantage. It's 3 versus 5 at this point, and 747 will end up retreating way too. Wants to find something. 4-step
nice
back in with
stun.
the Impale. Connects onto 2. There's nets for days, and finally they get the Skywrath Mage down. There's going to be a cheese eaten up as everyone on Doo Wop is still up, just barely alive. Kunkka ends up hitting the deck, and now we're going to have 747 just trying to do whatever he can, but he does fall. Huskar immediately buys back. There's gems everywhere. Wisp might fall again. One more arrow is all it's going to take. Triple kill now. And these racks, it's it. It's go time, but the GG comes out. Doo Wop force this into a game number 3. Oh boy, this is getting heated, Mod Packs.
Oh, I totally knew we'd go game 3. Yeah. Right at the start of the draft. No, that was extremely impressive from Doo Wop. They were up against the wall, had to bide their time, had to somehow last long enough for that Radiance to be up, for Mirana to be relevant, and then that entire, like, it wasn't just a quick, like, okay, we have Radiance, we can go win the game. It's like, you got to be very consistent, and one thing we didn't see was pickoffs by that Faceless Void. Naga never got caught out. I don't even remember, how many deaths Snaking even had this game? 1? Oh, I guess I have to press continue now.
I know, I'm so not used to the scoreboard thing.
Scoreboard. So he had
two
two
deaths.
deaths that whole game. Yeah, early game, that's true. And then the buyback death too. So, but yeah, that's super impressive. I mean, Batrider.
Just the amount of damage,
relocates.
63,000 damage by the end of the game, and at least a third of that is just illusion ratting tower damage.
Yeah, it's just it's super impressive. I mean, it's a very tough lineup to stay alive for that portion of the game as a hero.
All right, so game number 3 is going to settle it all. One of these teams will advance in the lower bracket. One of these teams will be going home. So stick around. It all gets real in just a couple of minutes here on moonducktv. I'm Android. That's Modpacks. Sit tight.